Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. This is Evelyn Mantilla from Access Health Connecticut. I will be your moderator today. We have some really important information to share with you. First, I'd like to go through a couple of housekeeping items. As always, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Participants are automatically muted once you're logged in. Please keep your audio muted for the duration of the webinar. The questions will be reserved for the end of the webinar. Please type any question you may have into your chat box, which is located in the control panel, and the presenter will answer them. I also have a couple of requests of all the participants today, as a matter of fact, regarding questions. We would like you to be sure that your questions are on today's topic so that we can be respectful and mindful of everyone's time. And also, if you have very specific scenarios that you may need to run through, I ask that instead of addressing them in today's webinar, it would be more effective if you send them to the Access Health Connecticut Broker Support email. That email, in case you don't have it, is AHCT Broker Support @ct.gov. All right. Finally, if you find your audio component is experiencing any technical difficulties or you wish to call in instead, I know that some of you are on the phone rather than on the computer, please switch from audio to phone call on the control panel, and you'll be giving a phone number and access code to dial in. So with that said, let's get started. Again, welcome to today's Access Health Connecticut webinar on important 2019 updates. I'm happy to introduce to you Katie Hearn, who is the training manager. Katie is going to be our main presenter today. You will probably have in the conversation other staff folks, other staff members that are with us today, so we should have a very interesting conversation. So again, Katie Hearn from Access Health here as a training manager. Katie, I'll hand it right over to you.
Thank you, Evelyn. Good afternoon. Today, most of this presentation will be focused on pregnancy special enrollment events, which are brand new this year. We'll also talk about changes to how alimony is counted or deducted from MAGI, counted in MAGI or deducted from MAGI. And we will also speak a little bit about our new verifications help page on the Access Health website. Okay, so for divorces finalized after January 1st, 2019, alimony will no longer be deducted or counted for modified adjusted gross income. And there are myriad scenarios when it comes to divorces that you'll probably encounter. We won't be able to answer all of the questions that may arise. Divorces finalized prior to 2019, in many cases, there will still be an allowance for including or deducting alimony, but anything from January 1, 2019, as far as the divorce decree, alimony is no longer counted. So if you do have specific questions like the examples here on this slide, they can be referred to the broker support mailbox, AHCT broker support @ct.gov, because there are a lot of different scenarios and we won't be able to address all the possibilities. We will talk today about pregnancy as a new qualifying life event. As of 2019, pregnant women who don't qualify for Husky or who prefer to enroll in a QHP will have the opportunity to enroll in one starting as of January 1st. So what we will be doing from now until the end of March, sometime around March 22nd or March 23rd, is we will have sort of a manual process for including pregnancy as a qualifying life event. And by that I mean we will not have the system built to accommodate eligibility for this until the end of March, around March 22nd. So there's a lot to pay attention to if you're filling out an application for someone who is above the Husky threshold in terms of income, because between now and the next HICS system release, the system is not going to recognize eligibility for pregnancy as a qualifying life event. So you really have to watch that eligibility carefully as you're filling out an application for a pregnant woman who does not qualify for Husky or who prefers to roll in a QHP. Access Health will provide a certification form for consumers to use to certify pregnancy. Like other special enrollments, we will ask for documentation. Enrollments will pend until documentation is received. So we have a form for pregnancy certification that must be filled out by a provider. The acceptable providers listed there are MDs, APRNs, and physician assistants. And these are the scopes of practice in which they may practice. Basically, pregnancy certification is determined by a practitioner, and if a consumer believes that they are pregnant, they are going to have to see a practitioner to get that certification, and they may not have coverage now, so I mean that may be a challenge, but they will need that in order to enroll in a plan. Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned, on the accesshealthct.com website, we will have a pregnancy certification form available for download, and we will be providing the link. You should be able to see the link in your chat. The URL there, link to pregnancy certification, is where you can find the pregnancy certification form for pregnancy as a QLE.
No problem.
Okay, we're just going to take this box down. Okay, so if you are enrolling someone who believes they are pregnant and reports that they are pregnant on their HICS application, you complete the entire application and they will receive one of these eligibility determinations. The Husky for pregnant women eligibility determination has not changed. That will still be within the HICS system as usual. They may receive a denial of eligibility for QHP.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
I think someone is signing on. We apologize. There's a little bit of background noise, but we will have Katie. I think you should be able to continue.
Enter your participant ID.
Okay, so you'll be looking for, and between now and the release slated for March 22nd, you're going to be looking for denials if someone reports that they're pregnant on an application. So a denial of eligibility for QHP or Husky is what will prompt an escalation. Anyone who reports that they're pregnant on an application but is denied eligibility for a program will have to have their incident escalated. You'll also see this, perhaps, eligibility for QHP based on another qualifying life event. It is possible to have 2, maybe more, qualifying life events. And what we want to do is honor the effective date for the pregnancy QLE. And in order to do that, we would also ask that you escalate anyone who is reporting 2 or more qualifying life events so that we can ensure that they get the earliest qualifying life event date they are entitled to. You may also see a member is eligible for Husky A but wants to purchase a full price QHP. That is an option that will also require an escalation. Okay. Next slide. So when you get to the eligibility results screen, you'll want to inform the consumer of what the system has determined. And if it is a denial of a QHP or Husky determination, which is probably the most common scenario you will encounter, you'll contact the call center so that the issue can be documented in the CRM or customer resolution management system. And that will then be escalated to the Access Health Customer Service Department, or broker support may also play a role in triaging these issues. You can inform clients that they can expect a call back from Access Health Customer Service. While we don't have the eligibility built into the system, Access Health is going to walk customers through this process, since it is a little bit cumbersome now until we have the system built out properly. We can let them know how soon they have to get that form submitted, where to find the form, etc. That we are going to need documentation from a medical provider, and that if for some reason they don't use the online form, which is available on the accesshealthct.com website, we could accept a provider note, but it would have to basically include all of the information that's included on the form and be on that provider's or practice's letterhead. So once eligibility for SEP is confirmed, if someone is in fact eligible for a qualified health plan, broker support will reach out and let the broker know that it's time to shop for a QHP after they have made some modifications in the system to make that possible. And you'll want to look for the status of pregnancy SEP determinations periodically, and if you don't receive something from the broker support team, you can contact the broker support team at that email address. The call center will escalate the consumer's application. So if you're finding that your client is not eligible for any program, they have multiple QLEs, or they wish to enroll in a full price QHP, be sure to call the call center as your first step so that this escalation process can get underway. This is part of the certification of pregnancy form. We have it sliced up into thirds here. The reason being the print was small when we just tried to put in an image of the form in its entirety. So this is the beginning of the certification of pregnancy form, and you'll see the middle and the end. That's the middle of the form. This is what needs to be filled out to be completed by a healthcare provider. And they have to sign it, they have to date it, they have to have their license number. Yes. And they have to tick off their scope of practice. Also need contact information for this provider. That's the bottom of the form. Okay. So we have a couple scenarios here. In this particular scenario, Lollipop calls to complete an application. She says she's pregnant and her due date is October 1st. The CCR at the call center completes the application. There is no other qualifying life event. She doesn't qualify for Husky A for pregnant women because of her income. And the system states she's not eligible for any QHP coverage. As I said, the system is not going to pick up on SEP pregnancy eligibility until the end of March. So this is something that both brokers and call center reps and all enrollment specialists have to be keenly tuned into so that they can pick up on the fact that they believe their client may be eligible for QHP, and so that they can escalate it through the proper channels. The CCR would then escalate the issue. The customer service specialist would then call Lollipop and send her a pregnancy certification form. So if she were not able to download one and print it out online, our customer service staff could get a form to her. She'll see her doctor. The doctor will complete the form and date the form. And that, because she was able to submit that form within 30 days of reporting her pregnancy, she will be deemed eligible for special enrollment coverage due to a pregnancy QLE. Okay. We have someone called Tammy Taffy here who calls to complete an application for herself and her husband. She says she's pregnant and her due date is October 1st. CCR completes the application. There is no other qualifying life event. She also doesn't qualify for Husky for pregnant women because of her household income, her monthly income. And the system states that neither her or her husband is eligible for any QHP coverage. CCR escalates the issue. The customer service person calls Tammy, sends her the pregnancy certification form. Tammy goes to the doctor, has the doctor complete the form. And then Tammy is given coverage for the 1st of February because she's entitled to coverage at the 1st of the month for which she's from. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. She can have coverage in the month that she submits the form. Now, important thing to note with this particular scenario, her husband does not have a QLE. Her husband does not have a special enrollment event. He is not eligible for anything. The only person who can get on the qualified health plan is Tammy because she is pregnant. Okay. These are some questions that we sort of anticipated would maybe come up. What happens if there's a miscarriage, someone loses the baby or has an abortion? That's something that would not be, it would not be necessary to report that on the HICS application. And just like a qualified health plan generally runs to December 31st unless there's some other reason for disenrolling or canceling along the way, this plan would continue to the end of the calendar year. There's no reason to, unless the consumer decides that they want to disenroll from it. So it would function in the same way as most qualified health plans, and they would not be obliged to report or obligated to report something going wrong or some change to the pregnancy. What happens when a baby is born? You have to call back the call center, or you have to assist your client to add that baby to the policy within 60 days of the birth of the child. Okay, so that's pretty much standard as well. Yes. No change there. So now this is something that really we may run into, and I don't know if we have all the answers to this. Here the client reports, I cannot get an appointment until next month. What should I do? Our answer is you should return your certification form as soon as possible. If you receive certification next month, your coverage will begin the 1st of the next month. Okay. What if I can't go to a doctor because I don't have coverage? If I can't get covered today, I won't be able to see a doctor. So it becomes this whole chicken and egg thing. So one suggestion would be that if someone doesn't have any health coverage at all, that they look into going to a community health center, such as one of the federally qualified health centers, and try to obtain certification from a doctor there, certification of pregnancy from a doctor there. Okay. Why is the husband's income included if he's not covered on the policy? Just like any other MAGI household, you include everyone within the tax household on the application, even though, as in that scenario that we just saw, he will not qualify for coverage. He cannot be added to the pregnant woman's qualified health plan. Where can I find the form? We've supplied the URL to that form. You can contact broker support if you need it again. It is on our main website, the accesshealthct.com website, and there it is again, a link to pregnancy certification. And there's the broker support email box. So again, clients and customers can expect to hear from customer service once it's been escalated through the call center to customer service or to broker support. And you in turn will hear back from broker support about the status of your client's application. Can the effective date be changed? What if I have claims before my coverage is effective, or if I don't have claims to be paid during the month my coverage is effective? No. It has to follow certain effective date rules, certain SEP pregnancy effective date rules. There is not much flexibility in terms of effective dates. We have a few more scenarios here. I won't read through all of them. I'll look at just the bottom one. Why do I certify my pregnancy? It's required by the new authorizing pregnancy as a qualifying life event for special enrollment periods for certain individuals Act, which is a state law passed by the Connecticut General Assembly. Okay. This is where you will find the pregnancy certification form. There's the URL again. Next slide. Oh, okay. Sorry, I apologize. Can we go back to one slide?
Of course.
This is I apologize. This is where you will find some verification forms. This is not the URL for the pregnancy certification forms.
This is a new web page to help people see the information and what they're expected to pass in. There's examples all out there in this, the website and that where it's located. But also we have 4 different pop-up fairs that are going to deal with VCLs. If consumers, they're supposed to sign up, and the invites are still out there to the consumers that have VCL open issues. We do have one this Saturday in East Hartford, and it is located at the Community Cultural Center. So if you need more information,
The library.
oh, I'm sorry, the Raymond Library. That's my apologies. Sorry about that. So that is this Saturday, and the time is, let me look, it's 10 to 4. So if you have consumers that have VCL issues and they would like to attend, they really should be signing up.
Terrific. All right, is that the last point we wanted to make on this one?
Yes.
Terrific. Very good. I understand that more information can be found on the webpage. So it is the time. Thank you so much, Katie, and for the presentation. We now would like to see if we have any questions. As we instructed you at the beginning, please type your questions into the chat box, and we will do our best to answer them for you. As a reminder, please keep the questions to today's topic. And also really important, you should always be reminded about the broker support email address for which you can address any more specific and detailed scenarios. And that email address again is AHCT brokersupport@ct.gov. The post-OE VCL fairs that Deb just mentioned for us, the information and the locations can be found on the broker webpage. And that's what we just mentioned before. I have a question here for us. Can women qualify for APTCs when enrolling due to pregnancy QLE?
Yes, yes, they can.
Terrific. All right, I'll give an opportunity for any more questions that you may have as a participant. Type it into the chat group. Someone is requesting that we email brokers the learning page. We can do that? Okay, terrific. Excellent. Does anyone else have any other questions on today's topic? Okay, great. Let's see. So we have a question that says, how do we get an urgent response form the broker email, I have had timely questions, and it has been days that I haven't heard back. All right. That sounds like a detailed one. So I urge you to, please send an email to the AHCT broker support email address, and we'll make sure that we try to address that.
And if you can capture it in the subject title that it's urgent as well.
Yes, please do.
We do have a lot of incoming VCL and some billing concerns and things. So if you put urgent, we will try to put that as a priority and get you an answer back.
Okay, great. So that's an excellent suggestion. Make sure that on your subject matter for the email, you mark it as urgent. We will do our best to make sure that we respond in a timely manner. Another question we have is, can they end the plan after their pregnancy?
They can disenroll from the plan at any time.
So yes, they can disenroll at any time. Terrific. Any other points that we haven't covered? Any questions that you want to make sure that we address?
Yeah. There's another similar question there. Is there a requirement for how long they must stay on the plan? No. Just like anyone else enrolled in a qualified health plan, you can disenroll at any time. If their pregnancy straddles calendar years, they would come back in at open enrollment to ensure that they continue to have coverage into the second year. So they have coverage for the end of their pregnancy.
Got it. Great. Here's another interesting question. When is the latest they can enroll due to pregnancy? For example, all the way up to the 9th month?
Oh, good question. So it's the way we have sort of defined that is it's when from the time that they learned they were pregnant, which is what you will see in the HICS application, language similar to that. There's a date reported. When did you learn you were pregnant? And you enter that information into the HICS application. And it is from that date that they have 30 days to obtain and submit the pregnancy certification form. And their enrollment will pend until that form is submitted and approved.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Katie.
Yeah,
any other points?
There was some other questions regarding broker of record concerns of what the carrier has and what access have. So if you can send those again to the broker support mailbox, we will address those as they come in.
Terrific. Yes. And once again, we'll repeat the mailbox, AHCT, broker support at ct.gov. Don't forget that. All right. I'm looking at any other possible questions. On today's topic. Oh, and terrific. And we continue to post for you the link to the broker support email address. That's very helpful. Thank you so much. All right. Any other pertinent questions to today's topic?
Thank you.
Okay, terrific. Seeing none, I'm going to close today's webinar. A couple of quick points. Today's webinar is being recorded and can be made available to you for further review later on. And once again, we do really thank you on behalf of Access Health Connecticut for taking the time to join us in today's conversation.
There were a couple of other questions, sorry. If they disenroll during an
Oh, terrific. There is another question. Let me go back really quick because we don't want to miss it. The question is if they disenroll, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. Yes, if they disenroll after pregnancy, does that open an SCP?
If it comes to an end, like a logical end, no, because it ends at the end of the calendar year.
Right, so it'd be to the
So the short answer is no.
Okay. Got it.
Policy ends at 12/31.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the short answer once again is no. All right. So again, I'll thank you for the last time for participating today. Don't forget, we can make this available to you today. We hope you enjoyed receiving this new and important information. We wish you a great rest of the day, and I will say goodbye and close the webinar with this. Thank you. You get me?